Welcome to NBGTV, where every story matters. Houthis attack U.S. aircraft carrier. Here's why it backfired badly. On a quiet morning in April 2025, the Red Sea looked peaceful. But beneath that calm surface, something big was about to erupt. The USS Harry S. Truman, one of America's most powerful Nimitz-class aircraft carriers, was gliding through the waters, part of a routine patrol, or so it seemed, until all hell broke loose. At 7:24 a.m. local time, alarms screamed across the Truman. Radar lit up like a Christmas tree. Multiple fast-moving contacts, low altitude, coming in hot. This wasn't a drill. This was war. Suddenly, the USS Truman and her escort ships were under full-scale attack. Cruise missiles, ballistic rockets, and at least one kamikaze drone were launched from the Yemeni coast in a tight, coordinated strike. The kind designed not just to damage, but to overwhelm. But the Houthis made a fatal mistake. They picked the wrong ship. So the Truman isn't just a floating airbase, it's a fortress. And when you strike a fortress, you better be ready for the firestorm. Inside the Combat Information Center, officers locked onto targets. The Aegis system lit up, tracking every single threat with deadly precision. Sailors moved like clockwork. Hornets were scrambled. The catapults hissed. Below deck, the CRAM and CIWS, those screaming Gatling guns, roared to life, ready to turn the sky into scrap metal. They didn't hesitate. They didn't panic. They executed, just like they'd trained for, time and time again. So, what was the plan? Houthi commanders, likely with Iranian tech support, had timed the strike during a known window when many of the Truman's jets were grounded for maintenance. Smart, right? They figured if they could hit the Truman mid-rotation, they could catch the Navy sleeping. Even more, they didn't just target the carrier. They aimed at her entire strike group, 2 Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, a Ticonderoga-class cruiser, and even a fuel oiler. It was a classic death by 1,000 cuts strategy. Saturate the defense, let 1 or 2 missiles sneak through, and boom. Headlines around the world, but they underestimated what a U.S. carrier strike group can do. The U.S. Navy responded like a machine. Cruisers and destroyers launched SM-2 missiles toward the cruise missile threats. ESSMs picked off the low-flying ones. Electronic warfare teams jammed signals. And those Phalanx CIWS guns, yeah, they lit up the sky. The attack was met with a wall of steel, smoke, and fire. Every missile that came close was tracked, prioritized, eliminated. Above the chaos, FA-18 Super Hornets rocketed into the air, not for patrol, but full combat. Loaded with AIM-120 AMRAAMs and AIM-9Xs, these jets were ready to take the fight straight back to the source. So why did the Houthis risk this? Payback. Just days earlier, U.S. bombers struck a suspected weapons facility near Sana'a, part of Operation Rough Rider. The Houthis wanted revenge. But more than that, they wanted a global headline. Houthis strike U.S. aircraft carrier. It wasn't just an attack, it was a message. But here's the thing. Messages don't always land the way you expect. Because instead of fear, the U.S. responded with force. Instead of headlines showing weakness, the world saw strength, precision, and overwhelming firepower. If there's one rule when it comes to the U.S. Navy, it's this: don't. Miss the Truman and her strike group weren't just ready, they were waiting. And if this attack was meant to shake confidence, it did the opposite. What the Houthis thought would be a victory turned into a warning for them. Never underestimate a superpower, especially when it sails with a carrier strike group. If you found this breakdown insightful, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into global military strategy. Drop your thoughts below. Should the U.S. retaliate harder? Let us know. Stay tuned, stay informed.